was thrilled to hear that there might be a deal. I think any reasonable actors, fair people, want there to be a deal. But it wasn't what they were claiming. And of all places, by the way, the New York Times was a notable exception, writing that, quote, in fact, Hamas did not accept a ceasefire deal so much as make a counteroffer to the proposal on the table. Good for the New York Times. But why was the New York Times' Peter Baker an exception and not the rule? Joining me now, John Ziegler, conservative commentator, host of the Death of Journalism podcast. John, thanks for being here. What's the explanation?
Well, usually I'm the first to say it's laziness and incompetence, and there's probably some involved in that. But I think there's also a lot of bias going on here. And this is an important issue, Dan, because this should expose as a smoking gun what's really going on with Hamas. They're trying to put Israel in a no-win situation. Either they accept their terms, which are literally inhumane, or Hamas gets to forward this very popular narrative in the media that somehow Israel is bloodthirsty, when in fact they've actually been remarkably restrained in their response since October 7th. And so what we have here is a very bizarre situation where Israel has the moral high ground and has the military superiority, which should give them all the leverage in the negotiations, yet somehow Hamas is in a position with their enablers in the American news media to be able to dictate the terms of a ceasefire while also trying to claim that Israel is not being as restrained as they should be. It's absolutely absurd, and you're right to point it out.
But again, John Kirby even said it yesterday. I mean, it wasn't like you had to dig, right? He said it at a press conference at 2:30 or so in the afternoon, and yet after that, even into this morning, it remains this sort of theme that, well, Hamas is accepted. And no one except for Hamas was saying that.
Well, I think part of this context in America is obviously the contagion of the absurd campus protests, and I think that's created a perception that somehow there is a popular movement within America that is pro-Hamas, and that might have a chilling effect on the news media. I think there's also an eagerness for this to be over, because this is a topic that most in the left-wing media especially do not like. They don't think it's working for them, especially since the campus protests. But I think there's one good thing that's come out of this, Dan, and that is that, you know, for decades we had in this country this conspiracy theory that somehow Jewish people or pro-Israel interests were dominating the American news media. We have seen in the last 8 months that that is most certainly not the case, and this episode is further evidence of that.
There's still a lot of Jews who run big media organizations. but
I'm speaking to one right now, I think.
I'm just saying, yeah, there are a lot. Anyway, John Ziegler, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.